But, all right. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Welcome back to the Verdict Studios. And as promised, this time we're doing numbers. Numbers not with Abiodun Ajijola, but numbers with Sheun Okinbaloye, who joins us. Sheun, you've seen what has happened all day. Talking numbers, some of your colleagues, if I call them numbers colleagues, that is, have been with us. And are you joining them in this battle today? Because this is the eve of the election.
Interesting times, interesting hours ahead, I must say. For some of you who are not perhaps going to vote, I have an understanding that 3 of you might interestingly be in the studio tomorrow, but it's going to be interesting. There's some things that you need to take note of. That if you're going to the polling booth tomorrow to vote, be careful the way you use this, your mobile phone, and be careful the way you use this.
Thank you very much.
No, I'm not giving you this. But be careful. There is a popular talk about vote buy.
Yes.
So be careful the way you use money around the polling units, and because you know it's a phenomenon that has become something of a menace.
Stop waving this.
No, these are not so much.
Which is why you should be prepared to let go.
No, because you guys are bigger than this. So. But be careful the way you use this. So because vote buying is a big one that we need to watch out for tomorrow. Because again, you know what INEC did? INEC has said if you're going to vote on election day, you need to be careful. You cannot take your mobile phone to the polling booth. So you can use your mobile phone around the polling center, but not within the polling booth.
From the point of accreditation,
absolutely. You are supposed to submit it, or you're not supposed to
submit it. Who do you submit it to?
I understand that you're supposed to leave it with the police. There's supposed to be 3 policemen within the polling unit. So you need to be careful, because what we know is that a lot of people, after voting, they take a picture of their to show the people who are going to pay for it. That has happened. Those are some of the scenarios. And sometimes the guy that is going to pay will stand on one side waiting to pay you. So if you're not careful, if you're just flaunting your money as much as you have it, you might be caught for vote buying.
Maybe to buy lunch.
Maybe to buy lunch. So you need to be careful the way you use your money around the polling unit, and also your mobile phone. Another thing that is interesting, which I'm going to show you, and we probably, I know we have Rotimi here coming. Now, quickly, let's do this together. Let me dress you.
Rotimi is being paid to do this.
No, but you are being paid to do this too. I knew so, was going to be awareness. Okay. Great.
On live TV, fantastic.
Okay, this is for media, but if you are going to vote tomorrow and you see people in this kind of reflective jacket, let's assume Nelta is the polling officer. You look like one of them. Sit down. Let's assume you are one of sit down, please.
Okay.
So I'm handing you
now acting.
Okay. Again, let's play around.
Hello, these are samples.
These are samples. So don't say that China's television is in custody of
on the eve of the
Absolutely. So we're not in custody. These are just specimens. So, I mean, we've gone through this drill before. Laddie, you do look like the ANEC chairman, for example.
This is, I'm not too sure. But please go on. Please go on.
So, I mean, it talks about what finger can you use? Can you use your thumb? Can you use your index finger? Can you use the little finger? Which one can you use? INEC told us that you're free to use any of the 10 fingers because the biometrics has captured all your 10 fingers. So the reason, perhaps, the explanation for using the little finger or the index is that if you use it, if you use a bigger one, it might fall out of the box. So then it might make your vote invalid. So you probably
just
have to vote against the logo such that it doesn't fall into another box, which then means that you're voting for 2 political parties. So you need to be watchful of that. So if you use your finger, depending, some
on how
little
big
fingers is as big as some other people's.
So the question now is, because some people have said the best option is to use the tip of whichever finger you want to use. Would that work? Because in countering your biometrics, was the tip of your finger
part of what was
captured?
You know, if you look at it carefully, I know Rotimi will be here to give us some more insight, but if you look at it reasonably, what is the essence of thumb printing? It's to signal where and what you're voting for. Right. So it's just for you to be able to
indicate.
So I think that we do. If I'm wrong, Rotimi is in our Abuja studio. Maybe I'm doing too much of talking about. I'll take this away from you. And
can I take this off now?
Before we get
take this off. Your role, you're not going to be paid for this, your role as the INEC ad hoc official is over now. Thank you so much. This is for me for tomorrow. I'm going to be on the field at some point, reporting for this election. But there's some interesting aspect of this election that we need to know. What are we voting for Christ's sake, tomorrow? If you are going out there and you are wondering, what am I going there to do? A lot of people don't even have an idea. Why are the elections staggered? We have one in one tomorrow. We have another one in another 2 weeks. Why are they not put all together? But I will put you through what and which positions we are voting for. So let's take a look. So we are voting for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's a tenure of 4 years. So 73 candidates are running to be Nigeria's president. Who will be Nigeria's next president? A big question, Ladi, Ijoma, and Nelta, but 73 of them. That's perhaps the highest we've seen in our political history. That's not the only position you're voting for tomorrow. Take a look at this. We are also going to be filling the seats in the National Assembly. They call it the upper chamber of the National Assembly. It has 109 seats, 3 each for 36 states, and 1 for the FCT, the Federal Capital Territory. And 1,904 candidates are in the run to fill these seats across the country. That's not all. What happens to the Green Chamber? So this is the third layer of the voting tomorrow. 360 seats across the Federation. 4,680 candidates are in the jostle to fill this seat. Who are those going to be? They're our lawmakers. So in essence, tomorrow we have 2 legislative elections and 1 presidential election. So that is what it's looking like. So you might call it 3 elections in 1, because we are voting effectively for 1 president, 109 senators, and 360 House of Representatives members. So that is what we are looking at tomorrow. Ijoma Ladi, you might not be able to do your civic responsibility in terms of voting. Your civic responsibility might be this one, educating Nigerians, keeping them abreast of the latest information on the nation's news leader, China's television. Let's take a look at some other issues. The PVC collection. This is a great one that we need to talk about right here. So we look at how the permanent voter cards are collected. Last week we were talking about the registration across the regions of the country. But if you look at which of the regions of the country had collected the most of the permanent voter cards. So let's look at it. Is the northeastern region of the country. So right here in red, they had 92.57% collection of permanent voter card for the 2019 election. Northwest follows with 90.44%, and it follows with the South region with 86.55%. And I did tell you yesterday that Southwest has a miserable 78.65% collection of permanent voter cards right there, the lowest across the country. So again, it's interesting. So what I did...
Can you just pause briefly? Let's go back a bit to the other map. Now, the Northeast has the highest collection rate.
Absolutely.
But then the concerns in some quarters is that's where there's supposed to be the issue of security, the highest level of security threat in the country, and the insurgency war is going on there. So how is it that they're able to achieve 92.5% 7% of collection.
You might say, because one of the states that you have the highest collection is here, Taraba State. Taraba State, I guess, had about 97% collection rate. And another one, I think, is in Gombe, followed by Bauchi State, has some of the highest collection rate, which had probably taken the percentage of collection
Very high up.
But again, don't forget, the INEC chairman did tell us that last time we had just about 8 local government areas or so with IDP camps. But this time around, we have about 15 of them. So you might have people in clusters.
Okay.
So in some areas of Yobe and Borno State, where you had more of IDPs, so you can have those people in clusters may be responsible for some of the high rates. But don't forget, Taraba has the highest collection rate in the country, as at the last figures INEC gave to us. That's a very big question. So you will ask yourself, why is it that Southwest has the lowest?
Where you're supposed to have the
Why?
most
Maybe, no, it's a rhetorical question because I don't have an answer to that. That's a big question. It could be a sense of political awareness that people are having around that area. You never can tell. Or sense of belonging, or sense of wanting to participate in the civic process. So we cannot tell. INEC may be able to tell us because they are in charge of that process. But that's the figures that we have.
One question. Does this reflect on the results? Let's just ask. But when you look at the percentages there, does this reflect on how many people are going to come out, and then will it swing the result in any direction? Definitely.
You know what? The more permanent voter cards you have, the more potentials that you have for people
voting
to come out. So it's not only in the number of people who are registered. Registration is one thing, but it's useless in the face of you not collecting the permanent voter cards. Don't forget, about 11 million Nigerians did not collect their permanent voter cards. So if you have more people collecting their permanent voter card around this region, and I'll show you something in a couple of minutes. So if you look at the highest number of possible voters tomorrow, you will see that you'll find at least 2 out of the top 10 in the northeastern region of the country. So let's move forward quickly. And I'll take you here, right here. PVC collection. So I did something. I did tell you yesterday, Ladi and Ijoma, that I was going to do this. I didn't tell you what exactly I was going to do, but I wanted to do a comparison between 2015 and 2019. So here we go. In 2015, we had Kano with the highest. So we had Kano with over 4 million PVCs collected. That was the highest at the time. And we had Lagos with over 3 million permanent voter cards collected, but the tide changed. Something happened. So Lagos now has over 5 million permanent voter cards. That's perhaps the highest number of people to vote in a particular state in a long time, perhaps, that we have ever seen in this country.
That's if they come out to vote.
That is if they come out to vote. But this is the potential of people, the potential of voters that we can have in this election of Saturday.
So potential turnout, let's say.
Absolutely. So if you look at it, something has changed. Lagos, Kano, is interesting that I'm putting up 5 top states with a PVC. Nothing has changed in terms of the states that has the highest from 2015 to 2019. Is the only thing that has changed is that these 2 states right here, Lagos and Kano, they are the only factor that has changed. They just switched places. So if you look at these states, these 3 states, they've maintained their positions in terms of how many potential voters that we can have. So Kaduna still retained the 3rd. Here in 2019, Kaduna has retained it, Katsina, Rivers, and that's how we have it in that order. If you look at it carefully, how many of these states do we have in the northern region of the country? We have Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, 3 of them. 2 from the southern region of the country, 1 from the southwest, and 1 from the south-south region of the country. So that is the change that we have. So I'm saying now, politicians, they don't have the opportunity to campaign any longer. What they are looking at is that the work we have done, how much of it will translate into votes, and they will be looking at these areas. Yesterday I did say 2 million votes is the difference between the winner and the runner-up the last time. So just imagine if you get 5 million votes in Lagos and you have 3 million votes in Kano, you have 2 million votes in Kaduna, you probably are home and dry in this election, except for the issues of spread. So that's how it all is looking like.
It's pretty fascinating to look at the 5 states that we have to look at. But then when you look at the other states of the Federation, could their own total tip the scale in any way?
Yeah.
Because this is just 5 out of 36.
Just 5.
Out of 36. So the other 31, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But look, if you look at it, these guys, these 5 states will give you about 20 million. So if you put 5 million for 4 million, that's almost 10 million. Put this 6 million, you have almost 20 million of voters in just 5 states. And you have 72 million voters. That's giving you almost little higher than almost 20% or 15% of the total number of voters that we have on Saturday. Interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
So let me ask, I was looking at something when you went, if you go back to the slide before this one,
okay,
which had the map, the one that had the map. Yes, this one. Now, incidentally, even though it appeared that the states that had the lowest collection rate were in the south west.
Yeah.
But then enough were collected to tip the scale for the state with the highest PVC collection,
yeah,
to Lagos as opposed to Kano,
yeah,
which was in northwest. I don't know if that has any kind of...
Yes, you know, I said yesterday, laddie, this state, Ogun, Ekiti, Ondo, these are some of the states with the poorest voting collection rate this time around. So perhaps the reason why you have as a low PVC collection rate in terms of percentage of those who collected their permanent voter cards. And if you look at it, Ekiti, Bayelsa are some of the lowest permanent voter cards in all of the states of the Federation. Well, interesting indeed. There's some more that I want to show you, if I may, quickly.
Sean, before you show us more,
okay,
when you were looking at the spread there for House of Representatives,
okay,
if you can go to that slide, yeah, somewhere here.
Yeah.
Where do we have the most new entrants into the race? And I'm always asking about the new entrants because, you know, you keep hearing this prediction that, oh, there might be an upset. Do you think there will be? And where do they lie, all the new entrants in this?
Look, anybody who has been covering the National Assembly will tell you that this is where you usually will have most of newcomers in the National Assembly. The Senate seems to have some level of stability. You always have more numbers of new entrants, new lawmakers in the House of Representatives, and the possibilities are always high every time. But interesting thing about being there and coming back is the fact that you become a ranking member of this, and it gives you the opportunity to be the Speaker of the National Assembly, of the House of Representatives, or in the case of the Senate, the Senate President. There are opportunities of a whole lot of people. It's too early to predict who are going to be the newcomers, depending on how intense the race of tomorrow will look like. Anything can happen in politics. Tonight might be too early to call for what is going to happen tomorrow morning. But I'm looking at a lot of upset. I'll keep it to myself. We'll get together again, perhaps around this time tomorrow. It will be some smiles for some people. It will be some tears for others. That is how it is like. It's like a game of football. Sometimes in politics, you don't play draw. Do you?
No.
Sometimes when you go into a draw, there is another opportunity to go for another election
and there's no
to determine the winner.
time,
but tomorrow it's going to be those who will have cheers, those who have tears. So whatever the case may be tomorrow, Nigeria should win, isn't it?
You get your extra time before the game, like what happened last week at this.
We got 2 painful extra time. 1 week.
Penalty.
That's too painful.
So I think let's take a break at this point.
But we're not going to let you go.
You're not leaving. After the break, we're coming back to you so that you can actually go ahead and show us those other slides, especially the secret one you mentioned earlier on.
Some more interesting one.
That's after
we need to
this
find
break.
out if people are coming out tomorrow.
Right.
Okay.